Bezel for me one time, let me see that. Oh, you playing shot now, I don't believe that.
He was trying to get that.
I ain't even centered this joint. College. I hated it. Hold up, let me collect my thoughts. If you ask me what I think about college, it is for very, very, very specific things. And like very specific. Engineering, anything in the medical field, any science really, law, and that seems to be about it. In terms of you go there, you do the work you're supposed to do, and then you come out and you actually have pretty good chances of finding a job. There's not a bunch of people that are like impoverished or homeless or struggling engineers, doctors, nurses, lawyers in some case, because like you're just in law school, you don't really have time for a job outside of work. But those seem to be the fields that like job placement, like you get placed in a job almost seemingly like right after you graduate from med school or law school or what have you. With everything else, any sort of art, business, entrepreneurship stuff, you can learn all of that on your own, by yourself, simply if you have ambition, direction, drive, all of that. And like, it's just not the answer. It's just not the answer that it was before. You could say like 30 years ago was the last time college was like really booming and would get you somewhere. But now it's not. It's just not the way to go anymore. A lot of people end up taking out loans, which I always go against. If you're considering going to college, yet one of the first things you say is that you have to take out a loan, don't go. Because chances of you paying that loan back, because typically people don't take out small loans for college, chances of you paying that loan back is almost never. Like, you're going to be paying that back for the rest of your life, providing that you can find a job that pays a livable salary or wage, which that's almost far and few between, unless it's like a specialty position, which is understandable because it's a specialty position, but then again, those are finite. So you're almost setting yourself up for failure, though with good intentions. It's very weird, and I wish people would talk about it more, or I wish people would look at it a bit more practical like this. Like, the reason I didn't go, or scratch that, the reason I went, but I only went for 3 months, yes, I'm a college dropout, is because I've always hated school. First grade, second grade, third grade, like very early on, I realized like I didn't like it, and that there was something wrong with it, because I knew I wasn't dumb, but I knew what the grades were supposed to mean at that point. And like, grades just are not an accurate reflection of how well somebody's doing. It just means that they remember most of the information given to them at school, and I always knew that most of the stuff you learned in school just wasn't all that important outside of school, because nobody else was talking about whatever it is you learned in school outside of it. Like, most of the math that you end up learning in high school is never applied unless you want to be a mathematician or like a physicist. English should literally just hone reading skills, because apparently the average person reads at a 9th grade level, which I think is kind of ridiculous. Like, it's weird because you see like adults doing like adult things, and then you realize that like their reading is average, which is just, that's weird to me, because mine isn't. Mine has never been average. You wouldn't expect anybody's to be average. Like, you have, especially people who are like twice your age, where you're just like, yo, like, you've had more experience than me. I don't think I should be able to read and comprehend things a bit better than you. It is what it is, I guess. But back to why I dropped out. I had sort of like convinced myself, lied to myself, whatever label you want to choose, thinking that I wanted to go to college. And I was never entirely sure about college. Not once. I was never 100% sure of myself that I should even go, just because I always had a distaste for sitting at a desk and trying to learn something. because depending on what it is, I can learn either by actually doing it, I could learn just by listening, I can learn like a bunch of different ways. It literally just depends on what it is, but sitting at a desk for most of the things isn't one of them. And it's just repetitive work, and like for college students, you know what I'm talking about. It's just reading a whole bunch of stuff that you don't care about, doing a whole bunch of assignments you don't feel like doing up until last minute. Some of y'all even pay to get them done because you really don't care, and you know the only thing that really matters is the grade for the most part. And I just didn't want to put myself in that environment, because I straight up told my parents, I was like, if I continue to go just because you want me to go, I am going to waste your money. And right now it's free for me to go to college. Mind you, I wasn't a good student. Like I didn't leave high school with a good GPA. Mine was like a 2.6 or a 2.7 or something like that. Average or low or whatever. Like I got in through this seed program at Del Tech that was connected through UD at the time. I don't think that's the case anymore. But the only thing that I had to pay for was books. I didn't have to pay for classes at all. And I was only taking like three prerequisite classes to get into my actual classes. And like I only enjoyed one of those classes, and I just didn't feel like doing the work. I had a reading class, some sort of creative writing class, and like a math class, and I was blazing through the math class until I got bored, and then I just stopped showing up. I didn't show up for the reading final, and I only showed up for the writing final and got like an 88 on it, or an A, something like that. I was just over school because I was just there for the wrong reasons, and that's the thing that I tell people now. If it doesn't match up with your plan, you need to leave. And I know like that's an easy answer, but it's hard actually going through the leaving given the circumstances. If you're paying for your own college, then if you don't think it's right, yeah, leave. Like cut it out of your life and figure something else out. But like if it's my situation where your parents are paying or whatever, or providing the means for you to go to college, then like you do have to, that is a bit of an uphill battle, especially in my case, because my junior year of high school, they were like, and I've said this before, I know, but if you don't think you want to go to college, like that's cool, like, you know, just figure something out. So at 16, I'm like, cool. And then literally after my 17th birthday, they switched gears completely and just was like college this, college that, job this, job that. And I was just like, what? I was like, one, let me get out of high school for a second when it comes to all that job stuff, because I'd been applying to jobs and like it just wasn't working out. And then for college, I was just like, I don't even know what I'm trying to do or want to do. And like just forcing me to go to college because you think it'll provide some sort of background on stuff is just not going to be the answer. Like everybody, they like the talk of a degree being the cushion for anything. The problem with that is that most people go and take that route, or I'm not going to say most people, but some people go and take that route where it's like, well, at least I have a degree. But the fact is they don't care that they have that degree. They don't really push it. It's not something they necessarily care about. It's just simply for job security. But the problem with that is that you become slightly dissatisfied with yourself, I believe, because now you have this degree and you're working at a job that you probably don't like, mainly just for money. And like there needs to be a balance that a lot of people sort of ignore, because it's, at least I have a job. Yeah, at least you have a job, at least you can pay the bills, but you look miserable. That is just what you see on people's faces sometimes that have taken that route. And it's upsetting, and I didn't want to go through that. Plus, given the internet, there's plenty of options to do whatever, and I've always been sort of, I guess like quietly rebellious, never really acting out in school or like in public or stuff like that, but there's plenty of things that I just don't like. Like, I'm not a big fan of authority figures or anything of the like. All the conventional rules and stuff and structured and status quo things, I couldn't see myself following, so that's why I started doing stuff like YouTube and getting into more of my creative endeavors, because you can finally make something of it and it be a practical way to live. Before, it was definitely hard to do something artsy, because then you would have to you would have to rely on getting discovered. And now you can put yourself in the position to get discovered, and not even necessarily by big names, just by like other random people that are also on whatever platform you are promoting whatever it is you're doing on. And attention, the attention that would bring you transforms itself into currency. And boom, like, you might not be rich, but you're definitely living off of something you enjoy doing. And that is my whole hopes with YouTube and everything that is social media. Yeah, but college just like isn't the route. And with interest rates going up, supposedly, because I don't know economics like that, I hear they keep going up like every year. And with tuition going up, and with scarce jobs, especially with minimum wage not rising for like, it needs to be risen. Like, people just like, people need to eat. Like, people with like multiple degrees and crazy experience like are working at Walmart and McDonald's, making like minimum wage, just barely over that, and working full time, and they can't afford anything, and like still struggling. So like, it needs to be raised. It's not just the fact that it's menial work. It's people are on their last leg and they're just trying to eat. But yeah, that was college for me. 3 months. I know I was kind of everywhere with this video. It's just because like, I don't gel with the idea of going to school like that. Like, I have friends that have been like taking classes in and out, just because back and forth from like job to I'm taking a break this semester. And from what I can tell, because I know them, and I was just like, I don't think you ever really wanted to do this. I think you just kind of wanted a safety cushion, but you don't really care about the safety cushion. A lot of them have jobs, and like, going to school doesn't pay for anything. Going to school doesn't let you eat. And a lot of people would be like, oh, well, that's why like when you get out later, your degree. And I was like, I don't have time to later if I gotta eat now. That's it. That's it. Oh, or a teacher. Like, I definitely don't want, like, I don't want a freelance self-taught teacher. Teachers, yeah, like, you definitely, if you want to be a teacher, you need to go to college, school, something specialized and certified. But for anything artsy, creative, business-like, all that is a lot of do-it-yourself, and surround yourself with like-minded people and the right people. And that is what I'm doing right now. I need more people with similar interests that are like, have stuff in the works, because like, everybody has an idea, but like, I need people that are acting on their ideas frequently, because I do this stuff by the week and other stuff by the day. So I should have bought water. My throat is burning. But I'm gonna go to Chick-fil-A because I got mad Chick-fil-A gift cards for Christmas. So I haven't paid for Chick-fil-A in like 3 months. 3 months, like Christmas wasn't like a month and some change ago. I'm not here super exaggerating, but I really just been eating for free at Chick-fil-A. If you do or don't like college, you can give this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down, doesn't matter. But tell me why if you're going thumbs down it though. So drop everything, all your opinions, whatever thoughts in the comment section. Hit that notification bell, subscribe if you haven't already. Drop out if you don't want to be there. If you don't want to go to college, you don't want to be in college, just drop out and figure it out. Just make sure you have some drive, and I'm gonna leave it at that.